I know from the first time I see someone,
Yeah.
whether I'm going to get along with them. Because
Okay.
you can talk to me from hi, hello,
So whether you're going to get along with them in a business sense or whether you could get along with them as
both.
an actual friend.
Both. I know it,
Okay.
but I have made some mistakes, obviously, in business
Yeah.
when you first start. But I know from like hi, hello now, whether we're either going to be good friends or anything like that. Like,
Okay.
I can just sense, like, I have a very strong instinct on people, which I'm quite proud of because it just got me where I am.
Right. Do me.
Do you mean my first impression?
Mm-hmm.
I think the first time we met,
Be brutally honest.
no, I got on with you because you helped. I remember that it was probably the first time or the second time we met, and you helped me with the studio lights.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a clue about them. And I was like, oh, my trigger. I can literally remember the first time I met everyone.
Really?
Any person I've met.
Okay.
So I remember you came in and you had your scooter, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think it was your studio because you looked very young. So I was just like, oh, cool.
Thank you.
And then you said hi. Yeah, and we went up. And then, yeah. I just know, I can tell just off energy. Like, there's been people I've met and I'm like, I'm never working with you again. Just from hi.
That's mad still. So, okay, so
Do
for example...
Do you not feel like that?
No, I'm a good read of people, but I'll let them marinate. So I don't know if there's anyone... If there's someone where it's like, from the moment I've kind of like said hello, it's because they've done something within that meeting that's made me say, all right, you're that guy. So okay, so for example, with you, let's say you're meeting a model at the studio, you meet him at the door, you greet each other, you would get a vibe from that point.
Yeah. I think it's just more so like body language, how you... Like, I hate rude people. Like,
Yeah.
I hate if you don't greet... Like, not to say you should greet me, but if you just don't even say, like, hello, you're right. I think that's really rude. So even, like, if people would message me, if you don't say hi, hello, I'm not responding.
Oh, yeah.
If you just message me, like, how much do you charge? Or, can you shoot this day? Like, where's the manners?
I hear that. I agree. Sometimes people actually message me and they just say yo.
No,
Like, nothing counts. Like, I'm meant to respond to yo in order for them to...
I get that. Hello. Just hello on its own.
Yeah, them ones
I
don't make
need,
sense
like,
still.
a whole paragraph. Like, hi, how are you? My name is... I'm a model. I like your work. Da, 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 da. Like, I think when you're reaching out to someone, you have to kind of sell yourself. Especially if you want to work with them. You need to be like, you should work with me because of this. You need to have confidence. You can't just come at me with, can we shoot? Because I'm not going to shoot with you because you haven't showed me you want it. You haven't shown me that you appreciate my work. And you haven't shown me that you've got manners. So I'm not going to do you a favour.
That's facts. That is facts. I think way too many people come like way too casual with
Too
the messages,
entitled
innit?
as well.
Like, yeah, way too entitled. Way too entitled.
Because I get it with influencers. And I'm like, don't, like, talk to me like that. I had one, she was on Love Island, and her manager messaged me, and she's from Birmingham, and they was like, oh, she's doing this brand shoot with an eyelash brand and a swimwear brand. It's going to be at a hotel. Can you come? What's your rate? I was like, cool, here's my rate. But the way they were saying it, if they didn't ask me what my rate was, I wouldn't have, like, responded to the message because it was rude.
Yeah.
I just thought, oh, quick little... But then I was, like, messaging them, like, yeah, cool. It was the day before, and they were like, well, yeah, we're actually going for someone who's going to do it for free. I was just like, okay. But it's just the manners and, the entitlement, like, you should be doing this for us. This is going to benefit you. But at the end of the day, you're getting paid by the eyelash brand and you're getting paid by the swimwear brand to take them photos, and I'm taking the photos. So why am I not getting anything? And at the same time, they probably wouldn't even let you post the photos. So it's like, you're literally at a dead end then. What's the point?
Yeah, no, for real. And I've found that for the most part, shooting for influencers,
it's pointless.
yeah, like the exposure that people think you'll get,
You won't.
you really don't. It just don't work like that.
It doesn't. I think if you're doing something for exposure, it really should you shouldn't expect exposure from it. You should feel like the exposure it'll get on your own page is enough. That's when I do collaborations, if I know that this is going to do well for my business, not through your page, because I want it on my page and I want it in my emails and I want it on my website. I don't care about yours. But that's the thing, like, people will come at you with 60k, 70k, whatever on Instagram, but my engagement's better. Just because I have a smaller following doesn't mean you're going to give me exposure just because you have the followers attached to it. And I feel like a lot of people use followers as worth. I'm like, that's not your worth, because there's people out here with 2 mil, but you'll get 10 likes.
Yeah.
And that's
It's
not adding up.
stuff.
It's not
Yeah.
adding up. So that's
Yeah.
not going to benefit anyone.
We had an influencer the other day try and scam us with studio hire.
Oh, wow.
She's spoken to us. She's spoken to me on the phone and asked if we could do a collab. And then I've said, I'll check with these lot. And then I haven't got back to her yet. And then she's messaged saying, she's messaged I think the next day, and she's like, certain, I've sent the money for the studio hire. Like, I booked the studio hire, that just confirmed for me, which was weird because obviously we have the booking system.
Yeah, why would
So-
you book it by phone?
So what she's saying is that she bank transferred it to me, because like obviously back in the day you
Yeah.
would bank transfer it to me, but obviously it hasn't worked that way for a while. So I thought, okay,
But it's better now.
yeah, it's
it's
way
so
it's
quick.
way better, way easier. So I don't know why well, obviously she said she bank transferred it because she was lying. So she said that she bank transferred it. I've checked all my accounts. And
Did she
oh,
send
nah.
you the screenshot?
Yeah, then she sent me screenshots, and the screenshots, like at first glance, look normal, but I'm techie as hell,
Yeah.
and I'm a photographer, so I'm gonna clock things that ain't right with the screenshot.
And you know about a bank transfer.
Yeah. So first of all, it hasn't come. So in my head, from it hasn't come, there's not much of a conversation after that. I'll conversate with you because I'm polite, and I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, what's going on? But you can't come if I haven't received it. If you get what I'm
If
saying.
there's not a booking on there, you're not coming through the door.
But she's sent screenshots, so she's like, oh, look, here's a screenshot. I've sent it. Da, 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 da. But literally, she sent fake screenshots.
Do you know what baffles me the most? That influencers don't pay for anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you get? It's like
See,
even,
I get it, and it in some senses it makes sense. In some senses,
I guess if you're promoting something and you know that you're gonna, it depends on their audience.
yeah, 100%.
Like the people that just come out of Love Island and like the predominant influencers at the time, they will get a lot for free.
Yeah,
But that is only gonna last for
yeah,
a year
yeah.
or so. But they're promoting stuff that doesn't even have nothing to do with them half the time.
I think,
It's just the fresh followers that are following them.
yeah,
But at the same time, those followers are following them because they like Love Island as a show. They're not going to like your headphones, and they're not going to buy your headphones. They're just going to scroll past the photo and think about how nice that influencer looks.
I think businesses don't understand that though. So like businesses will give stuff to influencers, especially small businesses, because bigger ones will understand that certain people can market their stuff. But a smaller business, so let's say I'm selling these headphones now. In a lot of their heads, it's like, oh, if this person has 70,000 followers, like even if only 10% of their followers follow our page, that's 7,000 followers. But that's how their brains work. They don't think about the fact that, okay, this girl has never done anything techie, so no one on their page don't care about
That's exactly
what
my
technology she's got. Her engagement is actually quite poor, and you're never gonna get a 10% turnaround on.
You're better off doing
anything.
Instagram ads.
Way better.
But I know that Instagram won't actually do that. They want to kind of cut down on... Because obviously you've got to think... Influencers are getting paid by brands to promote their things. Instagram want to get paid. They want people to pay the ads on the posts.
Yeah.
They don't want the brand... Instagram want to be the middleman. They want the brand to pay them to boost their post, which they should, because then the engagement's going straight to your page. Everyone's going straight to your page.
It makes way more sense.
Instead of going to an influencer where people want things fast, they're not going to click on the tag on your photo. they're not going to click on the tag, click on that. And whereas if it comes straight up on the page, you've got a website in the bio and you can buy it straight away.
Exactly.
Or Instagram shop and you just boost the post.
Exactly.
But they don't. They just go the whole way around it. It doesn't make any sense.
They don't get it, and it's like, okay, if I give it to an influencer with 70k, in their head, roughly 70,000 people are about to see that. They're definitely not.
No.
But in their head, 70,000 people are going to see it. Where it's like, let's say I'm doing an Instagram ad now, and it comes up saying that it's only going to reach 5,000 people. In their head, the maths on giving it to an influencer
But that's a real analytic.
Yeah. It's like the influencer thing. It's silly anyway because they can't. So like, let's say if we're doing a shoot for exposure or whatever now, if they don't tag you, it's dead. Nothing can come from it. The same, even if they do tag you, someone has to then say, "Oh, who's that photographer?" Touch it. It's long. Most people ain't doing it.
Most people just literally look at the photo. Don't even like half the time. They'll just straight. Because our attention span is so small now because of the fast. Like it's fast. Like everything is fast. So why are you gonna actually sit there and scroll through like either a carousel or whatever on Instagram? Because more of the time they don't even put it on the first tag, like the first slide.
Yeah.
They'll put it like 3 down, and you're like, why would you do that?
Yeah, don't
just
make
put
no
it on the
sense.
first one.
Don't make no sense.
And I think once people get a bit of influence, like that's like such a bad name for the people, influencers. Like you don't influence anything really.
I hear that.
Positively. Like some people do that. There is really good influence, but they're not called influencers. They're just motivational speakers and But who actually gives more influence to people? Who should be giving more influence? Those type of people.
Yeah, it's true.
Not people that come out of like a show or reality TV where it's not reality and you're kind of give this perception that everyone looks this way, no one looks how you would look, and then that's going to get you down. And you're going to go back and forth.
Yeah, don't make no sense.
So why should they be influencing people? It's just not right. So personally, I will not give them the platform.
See, yeah, but it's just not
For
the way
free,
the world
anyway.
works. It's just because people, even though like, so for me, it's like it don't make no sense. Bare things don't make sense to me. I don't even like filters and things like that.
Yeah.
But I get to a mass variety of people, for some reason it makes sense. For some reason, wanting to look like this girl who has super obvious fake lips, super obvious fake everything, that makes sense. Like,
I think
they want for that.
it's so weird. It's all just like consumers, and like when I was younger, I wanted all these things because when you're so young and it's pumped into you, you're like, I should be looking like her, I should be looking like this person, I should be looking like that person. But when you actually strip it back, no one looks like that. Really and truly, like I want to say it's in the nicest way, but no one really looks exactly like their social media.
Oh no, it's an absolute lie.
No one does, because you only show, you can look very similar, but when you get in the flesh, you've got skin texture, dimples, cellulite, and it doesn't matter, but everyone kind of shapes it to be like, when we're on socials, we've got to put everything perfect. Everything's got to be pristine. And even as a photographer, you see how much editing. That's what I've had people say to me, can you make my belly flatter? Can you do this? Can you make my face slimmer? And I'm like, no. I will get rid of the spot on your chin, but I'm not doing anything else.
Okay.
Like, I will retouch your skin.
Yeah.
Because you want that, but I'm not going to modify anything on you.
Really?
No. I've had people ask me, like, can you brighten my skin complexion? I'm like, no. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had that one, you know.
I have, and I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Can you brighten my complexion?
I've had people say that to me. I'm not doing that.
I've never had that. I've had people ask about other things like belly, thighs, bum, this, that. And if they ask for it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But complexion.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't agree with it, so I'm not doing it.
Yeah, no, I'll rate that still.
Because I don't care if you've paid me, like, be mad about it. Tell people, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Who am I to change your skin complexion? That's not right. It's not right as a human standpoint. It's not right for you to be doing to yourself, because internally, that's building up something that's going to affect you one day or another.
So, how do you feel about yourself physically?
I am quite a confident person. Well, I am a confident person. Obviously, you still have your days where you're like, I don't like you. When I was younger, I was very, very insecure. Very, like, I didn't even like the shape of my nose. I didn't like my eyes. Like, I used to wear contacts. I used to wear a lot of makeup. Like, now I wear very little makeup. But I'm like, I've come to a point now, you look the way you look. We're all human.
Yeah.
You shouldn't care too much, to a degree, about how you look, because it's so toxic. You hear one, like, if you die tomorrow, why do you care if your cheeks are puffy, if your belly's a little bit podgy, if your legs are too slim, if your back's, like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're, all these little things. Obviously, I can't speak from a male point of view, but from females, like, we spend so much time to look and appear perfect when, why?
Yeah.
For what? And I think when I was younger, I was so into that. I was like, I'm going to get filler when I turn 18. I'm going to get... I'm so
really?
glad I didn't, because now looking back, I would have ruined my whole face. I would have ruined everything. Like, you go through a phase, and I feel like a lot of people have done it. Like Molly May, she had filler, she took it out. All these people, and it's literally just what's trending at the time.
Literally.
It's like BBL. Like, so many people have got BBLs that have gone wrong, took it out, and now, like, slim bodies are coming back in. Big bums back in the day wasn't cute to people.
Yeah.
And now it's all about big bums. All these things, like, it's gonna trend, it's gonna come by, it's gonna go. So what's the point when you look the way you look for a reason? Just what's the point in changing it?
It's a fact. Do you like the way you look?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm at a point now where I do. When I was young, like, if you asked me that question, even 3 years ago, I'd be like, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this. But what can you do? Like, you're going to look the way you look. You look that way for a reason.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Do you like the way you look?
Yeah.
Good.
I was watching the clip from the podcast I filmed the other day, and I was like, "Rah, I look fire."
That's the attitude you need to have.
So yeah, like I'm happy, but yeah, I think people, yeah.
You need to. My sister said to me the other day, and I was walking to my mum, she was in the window, she's like, why did you walk like a model? I was like, because I do. I can. Like, you have to walk around. I think even if you don't feel good, pretend you feel good. And you will feel good. Because the more you just sit and, like, just say, oh, I feel this, I feel that, I feel this, you're going to add that, you're going to internalise that into yourself. Like, I was very much like that. I was like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. But since I completely flipped it, and I was like, no, try and say the things to yourself that you do like. And yeah,
that worked for you.
Yeah, I think so.
So go on, give me top 3 things about you that you like.
I like my nose. My nose is my favourite feature.
Yeah, so when you just said that you didn't like your nose back in the day, I was thinking your nose looks like perfect, fine.
Thank you. I think because I didn't really understand, because I think it just all come from identity. I didn't know why my nose was this shape. No one in my family has this nose shape. And when I was younger, I used to think it was really big. And when I look, I'm like, no, it's actually quite small. But I love my nose because kind of shows me where I come from, because obviously when I look at photos and stuff, I'm like, I look like how my ancestors would look. I look like this. I'm like a direct representation of them, just passed down. So I shouldn't hate that. And I think when I was in that phase, it was because I was trying to look like everyone else.
Yeah.
And now I notice I'm not going to look like anyone else. I look like myself. More time people are chasing it's like, if you see now, a lot of people are trying to look racially ambiguous. And I think even when I was in year 7, it's so dumb because my lips aren't even big, but people would call me fish lips, and I was like really insecure. I was like, oh my god, my lips are big. And I remember I ran out of class crying once. I was like to my teacher, oh, they keep saying my lips are like fish lips and stuff, they're too pouty. And these people now have all got girlfriends with lip filler. I'm like, but there you go. It just shows, like, don't change it, because if I was to then start hating my lips and all this stuff, it's gonna come back around. It always will.
That's number 2.
Oh yeah, I went on a tangent. There's so many, but I'm trying to think of my favourites. My eyes. I like my eyes. I like my energy. Do you mean like physical?
I didn't know. I'll accept that as an answer. I did
like
mean
my
physical, but I like that.
To me, I'm a very like divine person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know what kind of energy I hold, and I know that when I'm around people, they can feel it. Like I hold myself very highly, and I like that about myself because I never used to. So it's come with time and growth.
I rate that. All right. What's your favorite thing about your boyfriend?
His energy, obviously.
Mm-hmm. What's his energy like?
Very caring. He's protective.
Okay.
There's loads. Like, you know, when you think we're opposites. I don't know. We are opposites, but we're very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we kind of bounce because he's energetic all the time, most of the time. And then I'm quite energetic sometimes. But only, I think because with him, he lets me let that side out. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was very quiet and reserved, and once it's me and him, we're just there.
Yeah.
Together. But yeah, he's very knowledgeable. He's taught me a lot. Like, I wouldn't be where I am today if he didn't push me to do, because like there'd be days where I'd be like, oh, I can't be bothered to do this, I can't be bothered to do that, I'm not gonna get there, I'm not gonna, and he'd just be like, do you know who you are? And I'm like,
I hear that stuff. Would you say that you're your truest self around him?
Yeah, I think because we were literally like 15 and 16 when we met.
Mm-hmm.
We literally seen each other from the start, like, of adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen each other turn into adults, and it's a mad like storyline, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So obviously we got together when we were young, meeting up in the cold because I was too scared to go to his house. I was like, no, I don't want to meet your parents. Too scared.
Okay.
So it'd be literally like December, and we'd be outside cold in the snow because I'd be like, no, I'm too scared. Like, I can't do that. And he'd still sit there with me.
Mm-hmm.
He understands the way to what he can. Obviously, we've grew up very differently. He understands why I'm the way I am because he was the first person I've explained it all to, and he kind of made me understand, like, unpack it all, because I think I suppressed it for so long. He was like, why are you like this? And I was just like, damn. And yeah, we've kind of, over the years, we've unwrapped it all slowly, and he's literally seen it all. Like, he was there when I didn't even know what ethnicity I was, who my dad was, anything. So he was with me then.
Yeah.
And then 18, and I text him like, never guess what, I just found out who my dad is. And we're like, oh, mad. And then it's just, I remember sending him a photo of my little brother, like, this boy keeps saying he's my little brother, do you think we look the same? And was laughing, like, making jokes about it. So it's literally like the whole journey from the start to finish, it's just been like building each other up.
Yeah. Do you want to get married one day?
I do. I'm very like, I do want to get married, like, but I don't want a wedding. I don't want loads of people there. I just want it to be like an elopement.
Okay.
Yeah, just me and him.
Just you and him? Is there anyone you'd want there?
No. Like, my mum's literally cussed me about this loads of times. Like, oh, that's so selfish. I'm like, I can't do vows in front of people.
I think your wedding should be the most selfish if you want to.
That's what I was saying. Like, you shouldn't be thinking about anyone else on that day. Like, I'll have an after party when we're, like, because I want to get married on holiday somewhere.
Yeah.
Maldives or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't want a lot of people there. Because I'm a very private person, and that is so intimate to me.
Yeah.
I don't want my family's making jokes in the back, like, because I know my family, they'll just be like,
I get that. That actually makes a shitload of sense.
Then just have a party on my back.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you want to get married?
Yes. Yes.
What age would you like to get married?
27.
If I'm doing the maths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so growing up, I used to always think, no, marriage, I never really had a date for marriage. I always just think, I'd like to have a child at 27.
Yeah. But do you know what? I don't know if, I think because when we're younger, we always think, I want married at 25. I don't want a kid at 25.
I don't want a kid now.
No, exactly. Like, we're so conditioned. I think because the generation before us, they had kids young.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my mum had her first kid at 16, 6 kids at 26, like I said. Like,
Yeah.
I see that and I'm like, that could never be me. Like, that is so scary to me.
Do you want kids?
I do want kids.
Okay.
But not anytime soon.
Yeah.
I feel like my family's always like, oh, you've been with him for so long. 6 years. No one in my family has ever been with someone for 6 years and not had a kid. I don't think.
Also,
Let me think. No.
do your older sisters have kids?
Yeah.
Both of them?
Yeah, 2 of them. Then I have my older sister showing us she doesn't have any kids.
You have 3 older sisters?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay, cool.
from my mum.
Yeah.
Yeah, from my mum,
Yeah.
I have 3 older sisters. Then I'm the 4th, then my 2 younger sisters.
Okay.
But my younger sister has a kid.
How old is your younger sister?
20. Yeah, she's 20.
Okay.
I forgot then, 'cause she just turned 20, yeah. But it's mad, like, how the dynamic changes, because now I'm like, she's not my little sister. She's like, to me, she seems like an older sister.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see, like, the responsibility. I'm like, that could never be me. So, yeah, it's just mad.
Yeah.
Some people, like my sister's amazing mums, like, to say they all had their children quite young,
Mm-hmm.
they're amazing. But I just don't have that maternal instinct to be like that right now. I have a lot to do.
That's how I feel. I feel like if I was to become a dad now, I'd be a great dad. I feel like I've got the things it takes. I just don't want to. Like,
That's what you have to draw the line, though. Like,
Yeah.
know what you want and what you don't want. I think a lot of people just have children. Even in my family, like, it's very generational to just everyone. You leave school, you find a boyfriend, you have a kid. That's why they're all like to me, oh, you're not gonna have a baby, or give us a nephew. Da, da, da. I'm like, no, I'm literally 21. Do you know how young I am?
so what's the dream?
For me, I don't think marriage is in my dream, because I have a person.
This could be business or personal.
Okay. I'd like to have my own studio.
Okay.
I'd like to shoot solely editorial.
Okay,
So
yeah,
I would
that
just
makes
like to be booked for
Yeah.
magazines like Days, but like the big like any magazine. But I just want to be booked just for editorial.
Yeah.
Because like now, like, I do photography, but I have to do stuff that I'm not so passionate about, like product e-commerce. Like, I want to just shoot. I want to be able to be creative every day.
I get that.
I said so many times. To write another book. I want to get into writing more, because obviously with my book I just wrote, it was more so a photo book. So I just had the first chapter where it was a bit about me.
Yeah.
But I want to actually write fiction and non-fiction. So I want
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to write a biography about my whole life, the way I am. Because I feel like even though I do speak a lot about it, I don't actually say everything. So I'd like to do that. I write poems. I like to do that. I'd love to do spoken word as well,
Okay.
like performances.
Yeah.
But that, for me, I have to get
Build
past a
yourself
lot
up
of
to it.
barriers for that. Yeah. I want a podcast. There's so much. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there's new stuff all the time for me. I think I can't keep myself in one lane.
Yeah.
I want to dabble in so many things.
Yeah.
And I'd just be a healed person altogether. To be able to have children, I need to be able to because I think when you get old, you're parenting yourself, you're teaching yourself, don't act like that because of this. And that's something your mum would say to you.
Yeah.
Don't act like that because this is going to have this repercussion. So that's kind of where I'm conditioning myself now to be, you need to not do that because that's sabotaging this area of your life. Even if you're not realising it, don't do it. So I want to be overall healed, because I want to go to therapy as well. I have a lot of trauma that I need to let go of and grow from. And I can't have children till I do that, because then that's just going to go through my children, their children, and their children. So I feel like that's where everyone makes a mistake, because they do it young, where they haven't even experienced
I
any
agree so
life
much.
to understand why they are the way they are.
I'm very opinionated when it comes to people having children.
Yeah, same.
I believe so many people shouldn't have children.
Yeah.
That's why I'm an advocate for abortion, because
Yeah.
I think abortion over bringing a child in the world when you're not ready, you don't want that lifestyle. Like, you haven't got
I
the
think
mentality
everyone,
for it. Yeah.
so many people be in a healthier place if they had an abortion.
Yeah.
Like, even if, like I always say, no one has an abortion for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally, you've got to be ready for a child. If someone has an abortion, people can say, oh, they're selfish, they're this, that's a baby. It's not a baby, it's literally cells. Depending on how far
Yeah.
you let it go along. If you've waited 6 months, then you're a dickhead. Like, you've let a
Yeah,
baby form inside
yeah.
you. But if you've found out you're pregnant
Mm-hmm.
and you're literally like 2 weeks pregnant, whatever, I don't know the scales, but
Mm-hmm. I actually think for some people not having an abortion is selfish, because it's like a lot of people have abortions because they don't want to deal with the guilt of
yeah.
taking a life. I don't classify it as that, but
But then some
that,
people grow up in lives where they're literally like, if you know you can't be a parent to that child, you can't be emotionally available.
yeah.
Like, even people who are like 15, 16,
Mm-hmm.
and say, for instance, you found out you're pregnant and your partner said, oh, I'm not comfortable with having a baby, like, I'm 15.
Mm-hmm.
But the pressures around you are like, you're pregnant for a reason. But I believe you're going to bring that baby in where it's either going to go into care or it's going to grow up. Like, a lot of people who do go into foster care and stuff turn into addicts and suicidal and all this stuff, when to prevent that happening, you could literally just abort it and then had a baby when you're ready.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. I think people have kind of like, they're too sensitive to it. But it's like when people are against abortion, but sometimes you can die in labour.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally die in pregnancy. Like, if someone told me now, okay, you've just found out you're pregnant, but in 6 months we might find out that this baby's got something wrong with it where this could kill you both.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have the abortion, so just do it.
For real.
But I think people are just too. If you're like against it, then you need to sit down and ask yourself why you're against it, because it's just a right.
Yeah. I just think people are bringing kids into this world and ruining them, like
Yeah.
setting them up from the off
Mhm.
to just fail. Like, yeah. I'm so not a fan of it. I mean, if you feel like you're good, if you're good and you know it's a healthy situation and calm, but yeah.
But a lot of people feel like they're good, but they haven't actually done it. You haven't had a kid.
That's true. Yeah,
Like-
yeah. 'Cause a lot of people do feel like they're good, or I'm gonna be brilliant, this and that. But then in that case, I'm super judgmental when it comes to that. When it comes to people and raising kids, I'm super opinionated,
Yeah.
super judgmental. And when it comes to my kid, it's gonna be a next level of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just people need to sit down and actually think it's a child, it's not a baby. Like, it's not. I think a lot of people do think, oh, it's a baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have a baby, but it's not. That's a human that's gonna grow up into an adult.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just. And even that, babies are hard work. Like, there's so many children in my family, and I'm like, after too long, I'm like, no, it's not the one. You're crying, you smell, you need feeding, like all these things, and then you're trying to balance a normal life as well. And especially if you're creative, like, how are you gonna? You have to take off time.
Yeah.
You are the person who brings the money in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't work from home. You can't do this. You have to devote yourself to your job. So you have to take that time off to have a baby. So I think that's why I'm a bit more cautious. But people do, especially like the culture around here in the UK. It's like everyone just has kids young, brings them up. The generation's just not doing it. Like, so many kids are going to have bad upbringings because you weren't ready when you could have just prevented the whole situation.
Mm-hmm. So mad. But before we finish, do you have any questions you want to ask me?
Why do you think you would parent the way that you're going to parent? How you said you're really judgmental,
Mm-hmm.
and when you have kids, you're going to do it a certain way. Why do you think that is?
So to me, like, let's say me not having a dad, but to me, like, it doesn't make sense how you can not be there for your child. So one is like, I'm definitely going to be there to my child, but to a next level.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly believe I'm going to do more than the mum does for my child.
Yeah.
With the
But that's
utmost
good.
certainty. And then I just watch a lot of people bring up their children as well, and it's like I'm just seeing it like you're ruining him, you're ruining her. That thing that you're doing is gonna come back to bite you in years, and then years pass, and I watch it come back to bite them.
They have a saying in Dudley, like, they weren't brought up, they were dragged up.
Yeah, no,
And
literally,
I definitely, like, I see
literally
it every day.
all the time.
Like, if you're bringing that child up with aggression, around addiction, so many people I know have grown up with either one alcoholic parent or someone who's got an addiction or someone who's violent, like 9 people out of 10, I'd say. So even if it's not like, it's just someone around you, but you need to be that person that's like, I need to change all of this before I get to the point where I want to think about having a child. Like, you've got to literally bring a human here.
And that's why, for me, I've got to pick a girl. The girl has to be picked so carefully because, like, her mentality is so important. So, like, yes, she's going to be a good mother and all of that. But, like, how does she think about stuff? So, like, I'll see people and it's like, I'll see girls and it's like, they constantly make bad choices with the men that they're picking.
Yeah.
So, it's like, first of all, you're having a child with a man who is, like, terrible. So, you're committing this child to a lifetime of this man as their father.
I think a lot of people, they have a child with that person because they want to save that relationship.
Yeah.
But they've never experienced that person being a father figure.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
maybe even my situation.
No fathering traits at all.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what's really important to me, that my partner needs to be good with children, do all these things, because I'm not going to put my child through what I went through. I'm not going to put myself in a position where that person can walk away from their child, because you will be in that child's life regardless. So I think a lot of people, they do have children with certain people just to keep that person in the picture, and it's not going to keep them there.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's, if anything, it's going to put more strain on the relationship and push them away.
Yeah. And then now as a mom, you've got this child here, but then you may also be upset and emotional because this guy is not about and he's not doing what you wanted him to do. And it was like, it was clear from before he was never going to do what you wanted him to do.
And that child has no father.
Yeah. And but now you've got extra stress because you're upset while raising this child. It's just too much, man. It's just a lot.
I think there needs to be like a collective agreement, like, if we're going to have this child, we need to equally put this in, but at the same time you can't choose, well, you can choose who you get pregnant by, but you can't choose when you get pregnant necessarily, unless it's planned.
Yeah, okay.
It's a natural thing,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like, but that's when you should sit down and be like, is this person I'm going to see myself with forever? Because it's not just for the child, you need to have a relationship with them forever too, for that child. But you're not picking the right people, so just have the abortion there and then. Thanks.